Starting the series off right against a division foe and stop the losing skid. Tigers get back on track. We'll talk about that and more all today on Locked On Tigers.
You are Locked On Tigers, your daily Detroit Tigers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Tigers. I'm, of course, your host, Scott Bentley. Today is Friday, April 18th, 2025. Thank you so much for making Locked On Tigers your first listen. Every single day, we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And on this day, the Detroit Tigers won a ball game. We will gladly take that. A nice 6-1 victory over the Kansas City Royals gets them back on track. Fantastic. They're now 11-8 on the season. That's another win to start off a series, too. That's another game one victory for this team, which they have seemingly done. Have they done it? I think in every single series outside of opening day. They have won the first game of the series, and that sets you up beautifully going forward and for the rest of any given series. Now, you still got to play the games, not a guarantee. We learned that in Milwaukee, but it sets you up so nice, and it guarantees you're leaving there with some. All right, and this being at home, the Tigers are now, 6-1 at home on the season. Absolutely beautiful. My first thought in this ball game is that is a really, really, really big and important win. About as big of a win as you can have in the middle of April, right? They always say you can you can't win a division in April, but you can lose it. And the Royals have been losing a lot lately, and it was really important for a competitive division foe with one of the best players in baseball on it to keep them down, keep them at an arm's length. Do not let them get, life and get back in it. I'm not trying to tell you to standings watch in April. Okay. I promise you that's not what I'm trying to do, but division games always matter so much. Don't care if it's March, don't care if it's October, they always matter. So keep them down. They just got, I think, swept by the Yankees, I want to say. They're coming off of a loss against the Yankees. Yeah, they just lost a 3-game set to New York. And for you to come home, defend your home field, and beat a division foe that's already on a losing skid is really, really huge. Also, from your own perspective, not thinking about the Royals and thinking about someone else here, the Tigers obviously are coming off of 2 straight losses. So to get back on the horse is a wonderful thing. As I mentioned, very good to start off a 4-game set specifically with a win on top of that, and as well against that division rival. There's so many things. You score 6 runs. You have a good offensive performance from the middle of your lineup. That's really nice. You can stop the snowball effect and stop kind of the fear of, that maybe this offense sucks and they were just good for a couple of weeks and that's it. You have a couple of really big performances. You put up 6 runs, you get some nice hits, and you walk out of there with a really big victory. You got so you're at least getting one, and then you got Scooble in game 4 of this series as well. You are set up really, really, really nicely after this victory. Let's talk about what went right in this ball game. I love starting off with what went right. Golly, that just means it was a good day. Okay. And there's honestly not a lot that went wrong. I'll get super nitpicky when we get to that, but this was really a team effort overall. You had really solid pitching. You had, as I've mentioned a few times already, good offensive production. Let's start with the pitching side of things, just because I haven't talked about them yet in this episode. Reese Olson, 5 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. I think his ERA went down a 1.5 in this outing alone. I want to say going into this outing, it was 6 even, and now it sits at 4.5. This outing came down to one pitch. And I know that sounds super overly dramatic, but I genuinely believe that that's true. His changeup, that is the best I've ever seen it. And that's saying something because this is not the first time it's been good. His changeup has been good really most of his major league career. Kind of when he first got called up, he was really just like super slider heavy. But like that is a pitch he's always had, and it's always been lethal. Reese Olson has always had incredible stuff. And his changeup was legitimately unhittable in this game. And the reason why I love it so much is what is my only complaint with Reese Olson over the last year. It's been the effectiveness of his fastball. He throws a mid-90s heater, and it's not as effective as a mid-90s heater with the movement that thing has and the tail action it has should be in terms of just being a strike and getting swings and misses. That pitch, his fastball becomes significantly more effective and more dangerous and allows it to play way better when he has a lethal changeup like that. And that is exactly what we saw. We saw a changeup that was unhittable and got a ton of swing and miss. I think 8 of his 10 whiffs were all on the changeup. It was incredible. And the fastball, then it only had 1 swing and miss. We know that it doesn't get a lot of swings and misses and hasn't really his whole career, but it got a lot of called strikes. And the reason why is because he was able to pepper it low in the zone. The only time he's been consistently able to get swing and miss on his fastball is when it's up in the zone. So how do you make his fastball more effective any other place that he throws it, right? You can't just have an ineffective fastball in 2/3 of the strike zone. So you lean on the changeup a lot more. You tunnel that at the bottom of the zone like Tarek Skubal does so much. If you want to go outside of the Tigers organization, Joe Ryan is like the CEO of that among starting pitchers. That's more of like a splitter, I guess, technically, but same premise. I was so unbelievably impressed with his outing, and I think the biggest pair of at-bats you can you don't talk to at-bats, you can point to rather, is obviously when the bases were loaded with 1 out and he's able to tightrope his way out of danger there. Fetter goes out to the mound. I'm sure he told him, let's throw what's working, and it was pretty clear what was working in this ball game. So yeah, man, I was so impressed. I think that this is a great step for him. Other teams are not stupid. This is the smartest that baseball has maybe ever been, just in terms of the amount of information. I shouldn't say smartest. That's not a fair term to use. That's pretend I didn't say that. This is the most information that we have ever had in the game of baseball. That doesn't mean that every team is utilizing it very well. So it's not fair to say smartest, and I take that back entirely. But it is the most information that we've ever had in the sport. And so teams can make adjustments quickly. Reese Olson was really solid last year. He comes in this year, he struggled a little bit, right? ERA of 6 through 3 starts is not setting the world on fire. He makes adjustments to counter those adjustments, and now the game of chess the rest of the season can truly begin. And I'll take his stuff in that game of chess almost any day of the week. Maybe even twice on Sundays. All right. Let's talk about the bullpen, and then we'll talk offense. Okay. We'll do that right after this. Got to talk to y'all today about our friends over at Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more Experts are ready to help you take care of your business and take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries. That includes AI, IT, web development, and marketing. So whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. You can find the right talent every single time with Upwork. If you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who delivers incredible results. Also, posting a job is free and simple. And within a day, multiple qualified candidates you will have at your disposal to choose from. So visit upwork.com right now to post your job for free. That's upwork.com, upwork.com to connect with talent and grow your business today. All right, everybody, welcome back here. Segment 2, Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, as always, making us your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day. We, of course, will be back on Sunday. Well, Sunday for me, on Monday, rather, recapping this weekend. Hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday weekend for those who celebrate Easter. And I will be here regardless, okay? I will be here even if we get swept and it's Easter Sunday. Your boy will still be in your eyes and ears on Monday morning. Talking about this 6-1 victory for the Detroit Tigers, I have rambled on about Reese Olson long enough. We can move on to other things because this was a team effort where a lot went right for the Tigers. I want to highlight Tyler Holton here. I thought he was fantastic, and it'll get very overlooked because of the other fantastic bullpen performance and Reese Olson pitching shutout ball in his 5 innings of work. So I do want to make sure that he gets his flowers. He's so good, and he's just absolute nails. It doesn't matter the situation. It doesn't matter righty-lefty. He's a dog, and I genuinely think what I said preseason is true in the sense that he is literally too good to be a closer. And I know that sounds weird, but like he is the guy because he can be in any situation and he can go multiple innings. You don't want to limit him to just, okay, I got to wait to use Holden. You want to throw him out there, let him go over an inning, let him be used in any situation imaginable. He's the dog. Tommy Kahnle with a Herculean effort in this ball game goes 2 full innings by the end of it of shutout and perfect baseball. Does not get a strikeout, which I think is funny, but 2 innings of perfect ball, man. We take that 10 times out of 10. He goes into the game with a runner on, well, with a lot of runners on base, immediately gets a double play. Was he safe? Probably. Should you have challenged when you immediately walked out of the dugout and not just like, I don't know what they were talking about, you know, their dinner reservations or you know, what color the sky was, what their holiday plans were. I have no clue. I don't know what, you know, there's a, what is it? 15 seconds, 10-second rule. Like that's plenty of time to, I don't know. That was wild. It was weird, handled poorly by the Royals there. But because he was safe, like, you know, fact of the matter is, we can call it what it is. He was safe on that play, but that double play ended up being huge, right? The Royals had no momentum at all offensively in this game until Reese Olson got out of that jam. He was able to escape that, and then they didn't have any again until that moment. And for Kahnle to come out and snuff the threat almost immediately, get 2 ground balls in like 2 or 3 pitches, and then get back into the dugout and get out of there, and then throw such few pitches, such little amount of pitches that he's able to go back out there for the 9th and go 1, 2, 3 is absolutely wonderful. So really big boy performance by him. He's got a 1.29, and I'm feeling great about, you know, in February and March, we were talking on this show about him leading the team in saves. If you had to pick somebody, that's his 3rd of the year. And it's, you know, still mid-April. So good on him. Good on AJ for bullpen management there. We'll talk about Brisky here in a second. On the offensive side of the ball, enough with the pitching. It was fantastic. But the offense is what the big but what big media will talk about in this game, because it has been silent for a few games. And I'm going to be honest with you, at the start of this one, the first couple of innings, I didn't notice any different approaches. I was like, oh my goodness, they just might never score a run ever again. They might be just terrible. And sure enough, they go out there. Torkelson 2 for 4 with a walk, gets on base 3 times, 2 RBIs, gets the massive double down the left field line. I'm so happy for him. And I feel like I've said that about 50 times since the season started. I'm going to keep saying it. I'll say it all year. I don't care. Like, he deserves this so much. I'm so happy for him. He has just made such concrete and noticeable adjustments, and for him to be rewarded for continuing to try new things is just awesome. Like, his at bat, all of his at bats are competitive, man. Like, even when he strikes out, it's a solid at bat most of the time, and you think in the back of your head, you're like, something could happen here. Every time he's in the batter's box, he's a threat, and we've been asking for a threat bat, a fear bat for years. And him and honestly, Kerry Carpenter is the other one who had a fantastic game as well. Goes 3 for 5. He is now almost hitting 300. He was hitting 300 and then got the pop out in that 5th plate appearance, so he's back down to 295. But he's incredible, and got to face a lefty, didn't come through, struck out, a pretty ugly swing on top of that. I understand people are frustrated with the righty-lefty usage. He is getting significantly more opportunities against lefties already this year than he had almost in the entire year last season. Okay, like he's not just going to get like leash off. He's going to get 700 plate appearances this season. He's just going to face both of them 100% of the time. But he is getting his looks against lefties, and he is getting a much longer leash in those situations. It will happen. It's going to take time. He's going to get eased into it. Hinch is going to use him in specific matchups that he trusts him with. I mean, in this game, he was just absolutely lights out, man. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Crushing the ball too. It's ropes. It's absolute lasers all over the place. And the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, Riley Greene, goes 3 for 5 with 2 ribbies. Fantastic. The report before this game was that Riley Greene was taking him and Andy Ibanez got to the park like really, really early, and we're taking batting practice, hours and hours and hours before the rest of the team even showed up. And Riley was talking about how he needs to get out of this slump and et cetera. Well, he did. Hopefully, it's one game, hopefully it's not just a blip here, and he truly has kind of turned a corner. But, how he handled it was such a pro. Like, he makes the gesture to the dugout that he wants to keep the baseball and is, joking around, and the whole dugout's reaction is just absolute gold. Really happy for him. Glad that he can kind of put that behind him, hopefully. And it's not like they were just like, infield single or a blooper. Like, no, he was driving the ball and had a huge single to drive in a run or drive in 2 runs. Like, they were important. The one was an infield single, literally. But like the other 2 at bats, the other 2 hits that he had were hard hit, line drives, ropes. So good for him. Hopefully that is something that, he can just shake this off. It was a bad slump. He's out of it. Let's move on and not be so, roller coaster-y maybe going forward. Zach McKinstry. I can't say enough good things, man. Now has a 764 OPS, had an incredible base running display in this game. Torkelson, with that double, he gets 2 RBIs. It should not be lost on people that most other players on the team are either not sent there or just kidding, it's Joey Cora, so are sent there. And that's a much closer play. If not, they're just out at the plate. And Zach McKinstry is an incredible base runner, man. He was last year, for as much as he has had his struggles offensively. He's a really valuable defender and a valuable base runner. and he had 2 walks in this ball game, something that he does like 1 month out of the year. Hopefully that's maybe consistent this season, but I'll gladly take it. He's looked fantastic to start of the season. He hit third in this game, dude. Now, like, that's not Riley was slumping, so like that's not going to be normal. But like Zach McKinstry was your 3 hitter, and you won and put up 6 runs. I'll take it, baby. I'll take it. Shout out AJ. Might know what he's doing after all. Obviously, I say that jokingly. I think he's one of, if not the best managers in the sport. Glaber, also just professional at bats, 2 for 5 in this ball game, hitting .323 on the year. Would like to see a little bit more pop out of him. The 1 home run, and he hurt himself on it. But haven't really had a ton of. He's putting the ball in play, tough at bats. Like I appreciate him at the top of the lineup, and I think that it was a good signing so far. I'm not slandering the player. This is what went right. But waiting for the power to come around still for sure. Let's talk about what went wrong and then some stuff. We will do that right after this. Got to talk to y'all today about our friends over at Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. That's supplyhouse.com. Whether into plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources, and their latest product info can help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service as well, so you'll talk to a real person every time. And for trade pros that are looking for an extra edge, their free TradeMaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. So join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Use promo code SH5 for 5% off of your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. All right, everybody, welcome back. Your third and final segment of Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. What went wrong in this ball game? Bo Brisky's second inning for sure. He just hasn't really found it this year, and I think he'll be fine. His changeup is kind of too good to fail in my eyes, and his fastball when he's out of the bullpen is, can get up into the upper 90s. I think he'll be all right, but I've been talking about on this show for like 4 years now about how I really would like to see him develop any sort of horizontal moving pitch. And like, obviously, he has a slider. It's not very effective. It's never been very effective. But that's been okay, especially out of the bullpen. You can kind of be a 2-pitch pitcher and live that way. But his command has really just kind of been off so far this season, especially with the fastball. Just hasn't been very effective this season, but I think he'll be fine. Bottom of the lineup production. Now, this is probably not the best example of a game to make this point, but it's something I talked about yesterday and really throughout the Brewers series. Was like, all of your RBI in this game came from McKinstry, Torkelson, Greene. And it's funny to put McKinstry in that, group him into that. But again, he was the 3 hitter. So all of your RBI, all 6 RBI came from, you had 3 from Torkelson, 2 from Greene, and then the 1 from Z-Mac there. I just, the thing that, how do I articulate this? The worry I have with this offense is not that it will be like terrible or putrid. Okay. I think it's at this point too talented to be like awful. Does that mean it's going to be better than like the 20th ranked offense? I don't know. Like, we can argue ceiling until we're blue in the face, but I'm not worried about this offense being, like one of the worst in baseball or anything, like 2022 repeating itself. The problem I have with it, and the worry I have with it, is that outside of the usual suspects there, right? Greene, Torkelson, Carp, Glaber, I think it's probably fair to throw in there as well. If they don't produce, how many times is the rest of your lineup going to be able to overcome that? And that is my worry. Now, Dingler's gotten off to a great start this season. We mentioned McKinstry's gotten off to a great start. But And when Vierling comes back and replaces Ryan Kreidler, hopefully Colt Keith can get going. Like there's just a lot of question marks in that bottom half, and they look like Sweeney scored a couple. He scored a run. Kreidler had a couple of walks. Good on them. Again, this game might not be the best example to prove this point, so we can move on. But and like ultimately, it's a really long season, and that is why that you need lineup depth, because over 162 games, even if those guys are your best hitters, they're not going to be able to single-handedly win you every single game every night. You're going to need production from other people. And I just still have not like, the season's going great. I'm not trying to, freak anybody out here in a win and a impressive big win at that. But that is just like the one thing that when I watch, I want to be more confident in the bottom half of this lineup. And right now I'm still not really. Let's talk stuff. So Jason Foley goes on the injured list in Toledo. He has been off to a fine start this season and then just hasn't pitched in, I want to say 3 or 4 days now. So kind of saw some writing on the wall there. Makes sense. Hopefully he's okay, man. It's so odd. He was so good in the first month and a half of last season. Remember, he literally had like a 0 ERA, like almost going into May, or maybe even he did going into it took like weeks for him to give up a run. He was throwing 101 mile an hour sinkers. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's an injury. I don't know. But something changed and he can't reach that velocity consistently anymore. And his other pitches aren't good enough to be able to afford him not reaching that high velo on his sinker if he wants to get any swing and miss. So hopefully he's okay. Maybe the break will be good for him and he can kind of reset and whatnot, because this bullpen is better when Jason Foley is at the top of his game and in it. Yeah, just a really solid win, man. 6-1 at home now. I want to say on the season. It's kind of funny, a 6-1 at home and they're a 6-1 victory. But Brooksgate on Twitter, X, whatever, had a post before this game. So before both of them had really solid games, and Brisky had a poor game, so he's the third person in this. Just posted a statistic, want to give them credit, where it was just win probability added so far this season. Now, I know that that's like super nerdy analytical. I totally get that. I couldn't tell you like the formula of it. Okay. But essentially it is it is what it sounds like. It is the amount of the amount that a specific player adds or takes away from the probability of their team winning the game. You can do it game to game. You can do it over the course of a full season. You can do it even championship WPA and do, their odds any given play, how much it affects their team's odds of winning a World Series. So there's a lot of different variations of it, but I found it interesting that Dingler and Torkelson were both in that top, however long the list was, 20, 25 players in all of baseball in win probability added for their team so far this season. And Bo Brisky, the only Tiger in the bottom 20 or 25, again, however long the list is, players so far this year, ERA over 8. That'll do it, especially as a reliever. So just wanted to point that out. Love the team's reaction to the Riley Greene hits. I thought that was funny. Chris Fetter especially really kind of getting fired up there. So, yeah, man, this team is so close. And he even mentioned it. He was talking to Daniela Bruce after the game and mentioned that he was able to get through it because of his teammates and they all, pick each other up and whatnot. So that's good to see, obviously. This weekend, the Tigers will finish off this series against the Royals, play 3 ball games. You got a 6:40 start time on Friday, and then 1 o'clock and 1:40 on Saturday and Sunday, respectively. Yeah, good matchups this weekend, man. This is going to be some fun baseball, hopefully. Cole Reagans against Jackson Jobe, I think, is must-watch TV if you love pitching. That's going to be, even from like a third-party outsider perspective, I think that's going to be a very highly talked-about game in the baseball community just because of all the stuff that is going to be on display on pitcher's mound. Then Saturday, you have Seth Lugo versus Casey Mize. Mize having a great season so far this year. Seth Lugo was runner-up for Cy Young last year out of nowhere. And then Sunday, you have Michael Wacha against Tarek Skubal. You should have the pitching advantage there. So, now your goal is to take 2 of the next 3. That should be the goal. And I think you look at these pitching matchups, I think there's an argument the Royals have the pitching advantage in each of the next 2 games. I also think that it could be more of a push in game 3, Mize versus Lugo this year. We'll see. But I think you should try to grind out 2 of the next 3 and walk out of here with 3 of 4. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. Shots to the everydayers that do tune in every day. We, of course, will be back on Sunday recapping this weekend of baseball. Have a beautiful and wonderful Easter weekend for all of those who celebrate. And if you don't, I hope you have a wonderful weekend as well. Go check out MLB Game Night after all of the games end every single night, 7 days a week over at Locked On MLB. Jake Rietma co-hosts a lot of those. He's the Locked On Tigers postcast host as well. You can check that out immediately following every game. Anything else to plug? I don't think so. Have a wonderful and safe weekend. Peace and love. Going to therapy's dope. I'll catch you on Monday, baby. Go Tigers.